Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at my updated Roid deck. Now I have to be honest, I really haven't changed much in terms of my Roid deck since a year ago. It's basically the same strategy, same thing I'm going with. Just trying to focus on bringing out those fusions and gaining some advantage from that. There's a few different ways to build Roids, but generally that's what you want to do with them is try to bring out those fusions, or you can try to swarm out, XYZs, or depending on what you're going to do with the advantage that Roids have. Roids are generally pretty weak. Their attack is usually pretty bad. Their effects can be good depending on the one that you're using, but yeah, their attack is just pretty weak. So you want to focus on getting out more powerful monsters like their XYZs and fusions. It just depends on what you're currently going with. So in this deck, I'm going to be running 3 Drillroid. Drillroid has a decent effect. I do like his effect, and his stats are, okay, so not a horrible card. And obviously, we're using it to bring out our fusion. 3 Expressroid, really big advantage card for the deck. Obviously, it looks kind of annoying to start off with 400 attack. You have to summon him, but he gives you a lot of advantage, and his effect is off of any summon. So you can use a bunch of other cards that will special summon him to gain that advantage to make your plays really easily. Then we're doing like a mini Machina engine, giving this tech a little more power outside of the fusions because it kind of lacks that. So I do like having Machina Fortress and Gearframe to give you some advantage. We're also running one Redox, predominantly Earth deck, but we do have some water, so Redox can be a choice. But I do like that advantage to get some cards back, to get Expressroid back to gain advantage, to do things like that, and to have rank 7 plays. So I do like that in this deck type. 3 Steamroid, definitely a double-edged sword card effect. Can be very powerful to open up with, but then can get destroyed very easily. Again, we really need him for our fusions. Then 3 Submarineroid, his effect is decent, can be helpful to do some additional damage. The issue with him is you can't really abuse that effect because you can't use things that bump his attack because it uses his original attack. So kind of annoying there, but still we need him for the fusion that we're going for. And then 3 Tin Goldfish, really important in this deck type because we can special summon our other machines. We can do Expressroid, and then we can go into Gear Gigant and gain more advantage. So really makes the deck very consistent between those cards. For the spell support, 2 Forbidden Lance, we're focusing on powerful fusion, so Forbidden Lance, very good card for us. Iron Call, same thing as Tin Goldfish. We're going to use that for Expressroid or other cards to make plays for us. Limiter removal helping us with OTKs and big attacks, MST, Pot of Duality for some consistency, and then 2 Power Bond, really powerful with this deck type, giving you access to very high attack, powerful fusion monsters. Then 1 Raigeki and 1 Soul Charge. Soul Charge again, very helpful for a deck like this, giving us some more advantage. And then just staple back row, really not too much to say there, just a couple dimensional prison to back us up in a Fiendish Chain. Little limited in terms of back row just because we need a lot of spell support to make our things work. So now for the extra deck, going to have a few fusions in here. Pair Cycroid and Jumbo Drill are our big plays here. Jumbo Drill, if you get them out with Power Bond, that's a 6,000 that does piercing. So really powerful. With limiter removal, that's usually an instant OTK as well. So can be a very nice card there. Pair Cycroid, with Power Bond, this card becomes a lot more powerful. So a lot of really nice plays there. As far as XYZ pretty much staples. Abyss Dweller, we do have some water, but also just a nice anti-meta card. Castel, Exciton, Gagaga Cowboy. Running 3 Gear Gigant, you can run it at 2. It's just a really important card for this deck type, so I am running it at 3 to gain the advantage that you need. Lavalval Chain can be very helpful with some of the stuff you're doing. Dracossack and Big Eye, because of our rank 7s, and Silent are obviously a great card to have access to. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in the side deck I like to talk about just other ideas, other recommended cards, other things I want to throw around for people to think about. So Ambulance Roid is another card that you can use to do some really crazy swarming. It's just a very risky card. The stats are really bad. It's level 3, so it doesn't help you with some of the other stuff. So very situational card, and I really don't like running it, but I do know that a lot of other Roid decks like to consider using this for some plays to just do some swarming. There's also Armoroid, which is another interesting one. I think if you run like Monarch Stormforth and try to build around this, this could be powerful. You could dump this, you could make this more with your Machina engine. I'm not so focused on the Machinas, I'm more focused on fusions, but this card can give you access to some interesting stuff as well. Prisma could also be an interesting card for this deck type, obviously. You could do some special fusions with this as well. Kuribandit looks like it could be a really good card for this deck type. Get Power Bond, get things to the graveyard. You can do plays there very easily. There is an OCG Roid, Shadowroid, which I do really like. I really wish we could run it, but we can't currently. Would be a really interesting card for this deck type. If it does, come out, when it does come out, I will definitely run this. Truckroid, very hard to make use of, but can be very powerful if you are able to support it well. Machine Dupe, it depends on the roids you're running. You could use this with Expressroid and do some pretty powerful stuff there. It's just, pretty situational. Monster Reincarnation, obviously, with this deck could be good. Solidarity, I really don't like running Solidarity in this deck type because it doesn't benefit Submarineroid. It only benefits specific things, but it can be another thing to bump up your Roids. The other fusion card for Roids is Vehicroid Connection Zone, which is also really good. I just like Power Bond more in terms of what I'm trying to do with this deck type, but again, it can be very nice. There are like OTKs and interesting things you could do with Cyber Summon Blaster with Roids. Not really the plays I'm going for, but it's another thing you have access to if you want to try. Supercharge, if you're focusing on your Roids, this could be kind of a decent thing. It's just kind of situational. Trap Stun, again, going for OTKs or big plays. You can debate this over Forbidden Lance. Very good with a deck like this that focuses on powerful fusion monsters. Barbaroid, I just don't think it's worthy of putting in my extra deck. I feel like it's not going to come out ever. It depends on your deck. It depends on how many Roids you can get access to, but it just seems so situational that I decided not to put it in my deck this time. And there are other XYZs you can run. Degusto Emerald would probably be first on my list of other XYZs to put in to recycle some of the stuff you need and get some draw power, but definitely up to you in terms of extra deck. So that's my Roy deck. Again, very unchanged. There's not a lot of things I want to do mess around with it. I do still like it. I do like what it's trying to do. Definitely on the weaker side in terms of decks. It really needs more support to just become stronger, but I still think it has access to a lot of really cool things, and it's a fun deck type in general. Hopefully they'll add some more support down the line. But if you guys do have your own Roid decks, maybe there's some things I didn't think about, you could post in the comments, give me some suggestions and talk about those cards. Let me know what you guys are thinking. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.